Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we are looking at Action Comics 988. This is The Oz Effect Part 2. Written by Dan Jurgens with art by Ryan Sook. Hi-Fi did the colors, Rob Lay did the letters. Now this issue takes place mostly at the Fortress of Solitude and in flashbacks. Superman is talking to Mr. Oz, who has revealed his real name. Superman doesn't believe him, and they walk around talking a lot, and we figure out that, yeah, Oz has had some kind of influence going on for quite a while in the universe and has been watching Superman, and Superman's not sure how Mr. Oz survived the destruction of Krypton, and we get a very interesting flashback of what happened there and how Mr. Oz was effectively saved, loosely used there, from being killed by some sort of blue energy beaming him out and threw him on Earth in this hellscape African country that I think is supposed to be Somalia, where he was cared for by these people. They were talking about maybe turning him over to a local warlord of some kind, but the mother refuses and they take him home to care for him, and he has a hard time adapting. He's very ungrateful of what they're doing. They took various fragments of kryptonite out of him, but there's still some small pieces in around his eye. The kid sells out the family for hiding this guy, so their own child betrays them. He goes out and even steals some food for them, and they don't really appreciate it. The family does, but the kid doesn't. He rats them out, and they drag everyone out. They find Mr. Oz, and they smack him around a little bit, and the kid is given a gun by the warlord and told to shoot them, and he helps the kid shoot them all. And that's not uncommon with child soldiers. That's actually pretty true to life. But that's when either his powers were allowed to be activated or when he realized what he could do, and he uses his good eye to use heat vision to kill them. And he confronts the kid and says, "Why?" And the kid opens fire on him, and then he is beamed out by the same mysterious blue light. And then he is subjected to watching all these TV screens of the atrocities of man, from nuclear war to the Crusades and the Nazis and all these other horrible things. So he's convinced that Earth does not deserve Superman, and he wants to take him away to another place because the fate of the Earth is sealed, and Earth is going to be destroyed soon by some incredibly powerful force, which is the force that took Mr. Oz and saved him from the destruction of Krypton. Now, we do have a few leads as to where this is leading because, this issue is several months old now. They're going to hint at it a little more, I think, in the next issue, but the big crossover event is coming, and it's pretty obvious that there's some things in flux here. But overall, this was a pretty good issue. I liked it a lot better than last issue. The moralizing wasn't heavy-handed and forced. Overall, this was a much better issue than the previous one, and I'm a lot happier with the storyline. The art's cleaned up, too. It's a lot better. I'm not a fan of Bogdanovich's style. This guy is a lot better. I think Sook has a lot more natural talent for it. It needed more detailing in a lot of scenes, so it looked like they were kind of cutting corners a few times, but other times it looked great. Like the scenes with the family that he was living with were pretty well detailed overall, but there are other times where they got lazy with the faces and features of the characters, which has become very common for some reason, and I don't like it. Plus, I hate the lenticular covers. They're kind of cool from a gimmick standpoint, but it's just like the foil embossing of the 90s. It's just an attempt to get you to spend more money. I wouldn't pay cover price for it, absolutely not, but it was a pretty good story overall. So if you get a chance to pick it up, this was definitely a much better issue than the previous one, and I would recommend this one. That'll do it for me. As always, thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next one.